Robin Hugh Gibb, born on December 22, 1949, on the Isle of Man, was one half of one of the most iconic musical duos in history. His twin brother, Maurice, arrived just 35 minutes later, and from the moment they were born, their lives seemed destined for greatness. Their parents, Hugh and Barbara Gibb, were both musically inclined and had a restless, adventurous spirit. The family moved frequently, first to Manchester, then across the globe to Redcliffe, Australia. The boys, full of mischief and energy, were known for their pranks, but this chaos gave rise to something beautiful, a shared love for music. By the mid-1950s, Barry, Robin, and Maurice found that harmony could calm their storm. They started singing together, emulating the Everly Brothers and Paul Anka, and soon formed their first group, the Rattlesnakes. In 1958, the Gibb family boarded a ship to Australia, where the brothers began their journey towards stardom. The breakthrough years. A star is born. By the time Robin was 10 years old, his voice had already begun to stand out. In 1960, the Gibb brothers performed on television for the first time on Strictly for Moderns, and Robin's tremolo, a soft, mature quality, was unmistakable. As they grew older, their musical prowess became more refined, and by the mid-1960s, the Bee Gees were on their way to fame. They signed with Festival Records, and their unique sound caught the attention of audiences around the world. Robin's ability to take the lead on songs like I Don't Think It's Funny in 1965 marked him as a voice that was far beyond his years. His distinctive style and musical range would become the hallmark of the Bee Gees, who would soon dominate the music scene. However, as their fame grew, the pressures of success began to take a toll, and cracks began to form in the brothers' relationship, a sign of the turbulence that would follow. The struggles of fame, personal and professional tensions. As the Bee Gees rose to prominence in the late 1960s, Robin's personal life became increasingly complicated. In 1968, at just 18 years old, he married Molly Hullis, the secretary to their manager, Robert Stigwood. Their bond, formed during the traumatic Hither Green rail crash that claimed nearly 50 lives, seemed unshakable at first. But the pressures of fame, long periods of separation, and Robin's growing emotional instability took a toll. Living mostly in the United States while Molly stayed in the UK to raise their children, Robin began to use amphetamines and methamphetamines to cope with the endless demands of touring. His moods grew erratic, and he became paranoid, convinced that those around him, including Molly, were conspiring against him. By 1980, their marriage ended in divorce, and the fallout was bitter, with Robin spending 14 days in jail in 1983 after violating a court order. This marked a painful chapter in his life that no one saw coming. A new beginning, Robin's second marriage. Despite his personal struggles, Robin found solace in a second marriage to Dwina Murphy Gibb, an artist and writer whose spiritual beliefs and creativity mirrored his own. Together, they built a life that spanned between Miami, the Isle of Man, and their historic Oxfordshire home, the Prebendal. On the surface, it seemed like a peaceful and stable union, but their relationship was far from conventional. The truth came out years later. Robin and Dwina had an open marriage. This revelation shocked many who had no idea of the arrangement, but Dwina, calm and composed, explained that she understood and accepted Robin's relationship with Claire Yang, a housekeeper who would eventually give birth to Robin's daughter, Snow, in 2008. While this caused tension within the family, Dwina's acceptance of the situation and her quiet handling of it kept the scandalous rumors from becoming a public feud. Despite the non-traditional nature of their marriage, Robin and Dwina's bond remained strong. Maurice's death, a shattering loss. The death of Maurice Gibb in 2003 was a devastating blow not just to Robin, but to the entire Gibb family. Maurice had always been the emotional mediator between Robin and Barry, and his passing left a gaping hole in the family dynamic. The grief that followed was compounded by a public feud over how Maurice's legacy should be honored. Barry, already reeling from the loss of his twin, became enraged when he believed Maurice's widow Yvonne and her family were planning a tribute album for financial gain. This disagreement escalated into a bitter conflict between Barry and Yvonne, and Robin, caught in the middle, struggled to find a way to honor his twin's memory without exacerbating the rift between them. It became clear that, while the Bee Gees' harmony was legendary on stage, offstage, the brothers' relationships were far more complex and fraught with emotional tension. The final battle. Robin's struggle with cancer. By 2011, Robin Gibb's life was in turmoil once again, but this time it was a battle against cancer. Diagnosed with colon cancer that had spread to his liver, Robin's health quickly deteriorated. Despite his illness, Robin remained determined to continue working. His optimism never waned, even as his body grew weaker. He continued to compose the Titanic Requiem, a symphonic tribute to the 100th anniversary of the Titanic disaster, alongside his son, RJ. For Robin, the project was more than just music. It was a metaphor for his own struggle with illness, a testament to his resilience and determination. But as the months passed, his body succumbed to the disease, and by April 2012, Robin fell into a coma after contracting pneumonia. His family, gathered around him, prepared for the inevitable end. Then, in a moment that shocked everyone, Robin awoke briefly from his coma, showing signs of life. For a few precious days, he was present again, talking softly and humming melodies, expressing his desire to return to the stage. The end. Robin Gibb's final moments. Robin Gibb passed away on May 20, 2012, surrounded by those who loved him most. His death, at the age of 62, was peaceful. According to Dwina, he passed away with a smile, holding her hand, and was unafraid. His children, especially RJ, spoke of their father's final moments with reverence and love, remembering the man who had never stopped working, never stopped creating, even in the face of unimaginable pain. For them, Robin Gibb was a man of immense creativity and love, driven by a relentless spirit to keep making music. His final moments, filled with gentle smiles and peaceful acceptance, reflected the man he had always been, hopeful, kind, and resilient. His death marked the end of an era, but his music, his legacy, and the stories shared by his family would continue to keep his spirit alive. The silence broken. Robin Gibb's legacy revealed. In the years following Robin Gibb's death, his children, particularly RJ, began to speak out, sharing the truth behind their father's life. For so long, the public had speculated about Robin's personal battles, his relationships, and his struggles. But his family had kept silent, protecting his privacy. Now, as time passed, they wanted the world to understand the man behind the music. They revealed the truth about Robin's open marriage to Dwina, his affair with Claire Yang, and the love and acceptance that had existed within their family despite the external pressures. They also spoke about Robin's will and how he had discreetly provided for all his children, including Snow, who had been left out of the public inheritance. Through these revelations, Robin's family painted a picture of a man who, despite his flaws and struggles, was driven by love, creativity, and an unwavering commitment to his music. His legacy, once shrouded in mystery, was now complete.